Prepare yourself for List Off, the gaming podcast where your hosts, Brian and Ryan, rank the things they love. 3, 2, 1, List Off!
Outer space may hold incomparable beauty, but it's nothing when actually compared to the top 10 box arts in video gaming. How's it going, Brian?
It's going way better now that I heard that. That was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
That's great.
Thanks, man. So how was your week? Did you play any video games?
Yeah, it was good, Ryan. So two things. I played and beat Death's Door.
Oh,
that is a very good video
that's right.
game.
You did beat it. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. There's some stuff that you can do, I guess, after you've beat it, and there's like a true ending. I might do that. I am looking at a guide for the rest of that kind of stuff because I just don't have the time to sit there. Some of the stuff that they want you to do is there's no way I could figure it out by myself. So if I'm going to go through this true ending stuff, I'll just look it up.
Is it just pretty abstract, the things they want you to do?
Yeah. I mean, I can say like the first step was there was no, like, so they give you a key. I don't know if you remember at the end, they kind of show there's a key that the boss drops.
Right.
And it says where it's to. I had never encountered this building before. So I didn't even know to go there.
See, in my gameplay, I knew exactly where to go because I was like, when am I going to get in there?
I see.
Yeah.
See, I have been just mainlining things like this, so I kind of just I never even encountered that area. So yeah, and then I don't know, I guess you can kind of figure it out, but there's like 10 different things that you're supposed to do for this quote unquote true ending. So yeah.
YouTube.
That's a good point. Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting 100% on this one, which I know I said about Metroid Dread, but I've heard Metroid Dread is very difficult in some of the Shine Spark item things that you have to get. So definitely. I don't know if I'll go back to that either. It's just, hey, we've got Horizon coming up next week, and I am going to play Guardians of the Galaxy. That's like the thing on my list.
Do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many other games. Like I still haven't played Ghost of Tsushima. I still haven't played Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
But then Halo's coming up. Like it's ridiculous, but Guardians seems like I need to play that game.
Yeah. But that's not even including the fact that we're both dads and husbands and we have full-time jobs. And so I get it. Like there's only so much time in the day. And
there really is that I am envious of people who either have more time or just can sacrifice any amount of sleep to get the stuff done. But
don't envy me, Ryan.
But the only other thing I did, so Death's Door, that took, I mean, I feel like it took me longer to beat than it took you. But it was about like
we could just go with that. We'll
8 to 10 hours. Yeah. But the only other thing I did, which is not video game related, but I am kind of excited about this one, is a book. It's called Project Hail Mary, and it's by the same author as The Martian, Andy Weir.
Oh yeah.
So The Martian, the book that is now a major motion picture starring Matt Damon. But this one's cool. It starts with a like kind of a amnesiac person, and they're piecing together where they are and what's going on. But it's a space sci-fi thrill ride.
What's the name of it?
Project Hail Mary.
I don't know if that's the one. I read another one of his books, and it was really bad.
Oh no!
But I think it was his book after The Martian. I didn't enjoy it, but it had a different name. It definitely wasn't Project Hail Mary.
Okay, this is a new book. I think it's brand spanking new. But yeah, I really like it. If you're looking for a sci-fi kind of, I don't want to say mystery, but the story is presented like as an already in progress thing that we're working backwards from.
Right.
So yeah, I really like it.
Very cool.
But yeah, did you play any games?
Well, I do want to hear more of your thoughts on Death's Door, but since we're talking about books, I also picked up a book called The Creative Gene. It's Hideo Kojima's book, and it's actually really interesting. The intro and outro are him talking about himself. The rest of it is just maybe a few pages He does reviews of everything that's influenced him, other media that's influenced him, books, movies, etc. And they're just short reviews of it. And it's funny because you'll read 2 or 3 of them where reads like a very good review of a movie.
Right.
And then, the third one you're reading, he'll say, this actually inspired this part in Metal Gear Solid, and it's like kind of shocks you. It's like, oh wait, no, this is written by Hideo Kojima, and it's
like
it takes
actually
you by surprise.
In his mind for when he created these things. That's pretty cool.
It is very cool, and it's a good read. You definitely get a lot of insight as to how he thinks and what formed his personality and how he approaches his own creative process. It's very cool to read, but definitely not nothing autobiographical outside of that introduction that I've come across so far.
Right.
But I do want to hear more of your thoughts on Death's Door. So, you didn't really talk about the game much, so if you had something to share, I'd like to hear it.
Sure. So gameplay wise, it's amazing. I don't think this game is hard, but some of the bosses I did kind of hit my head against the wall a little bit. I think I was just getting to the point of frustration, and that is never a good way to try to beat a boss because you're just making stupid mistakes at that point. The third boss, it was like that. It was Betty, the like ice yeti.
Yeah,
that was not a fun boss, but I eventually got it, and it kind of felt similar to Metroid Dread bosses where you can do this as long as you're patient and are following along with the attack patterns. But I was just getting impatient, basically. So
I felt the same way about the final boss, actually, because you would get to one of the later phases and have to restart through all the phases. And that just got a little tiring because it was like, man, like I'm flawless at these beginning parts.
Exactly.
But I have to go through them every time just to get to this last part.
Oh, what was also really frustrating? I beat Betty, but one of the last phases is like just stuff falling from the ceiling.
Right. Yeah.
I beat her and then like was just standing there and one lone rock just nailed me in the face and I was one hit. So the game decided I did not make it through that encounter. That was really frustrating.
So disappointing. Yes. Do you get an achievement for beating her twice?
No.
No, I know.
Yeah, that would have been interesting, but so I really like this game. I am not as hyped up as it seems everyone was. I don't know where that hype was really coming from because it's very good.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
solidly made. Yeah,
a solid game, and it was worth $6 definitely.
Yeah. It was worth 20 for me. Like,
sure. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I would still pay a full price 20 for it. But I think maybe I've just played a lot of good games this year and especially coming off Metroid Dread, like that it's hard to compare just like a good solid game experience after playing that.
Yeah, you probably know after hearing my take on it a few weeks ago that I feel pretty much the same way. It's a solid game. It's a good game.
I was expecting
it's not game of the year stuff. But,
yeah. But the humor really was fun.
Music was good too.
Music is good. I loved seeing just like talking to really any character in that game, and they'll like make the text kind of squiggly when they're excited. So it's just like one of the other crows is just like, if you go in there, you might die, and that'll be a lot more paperwork. And it's just like you can see that he's actually excited about doing all this paperwork with your ultimate demise. But the game does that a lot. Also, Jefferson, the guy controlled by the octopus or squid.
Oh God, that's so creepy.
That was weird.
That was creepy. It's like this dead body being puppeted by a squid. Yeah, that was
a little much.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Clever enough. Good writing. Yeah. Good game. Solid game.
I think a very good solid game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. So the games that I played this week, I unfortunately didn't play any more Resident Evil virtual reality. That is how I will refer to it from this day forward.
Resident Evil 4 virtual reality.
Yeah, I didn't have an opportunity to play any more of that. It's not that it's difficult to strap the headset on. It's just I wanted to make it through a few games. So one of them, of course, is Guardians of the Galaxy. And
someone's excited.
Someone's a little upset, actually.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, the game. I mean, again,
so sorry, you beat it?
I did beat it. I made it through it. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Early in the week too. Early in the week, I
Okay.
mainlined this game, and I could not put it down. Just not to beat the same drum, but it's so inventive with its visuals and its ideas. The way the characters and the stories are presented are incredible. How it visualizes some of the more cosmic and like mental parts of the Marvel universe is really engaging. I don't know how far you are. Well, you haven't touched it.
I haven't bought
I won't
it
give
yet.
anything away. But
I don't even have it. Yeah.
There's a specific part. I want to say it's right at the midway, maybe just beyond the midway point of the game, where they really delve into some concepts that you wouldn't expect from like a first-person action game. And the way they approach these conflicts, like the concepts and the way each character has to overcome them is just like really like pulls at your heartstrings,
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not the same cut and dry gameplay throughout. Like that does a good job of mixing it up, but it does a good job of consistently mixing it up. It does run into the problem of here's a group of bad guys, like you understand when you're going to run into bad guys. It pretty much telegraphs that every time. It gives you like an arena, and here they are, right?
Here are the chest high walls. I know he like is flying around and stuff, but
exactly. But yeah, supremely heartfelt storytelling. The characters you really, really grow attached to. The side characters are perfect. They are perfectly sprinkled throughout, and they never overstay their welcome. They kind of jump in, play their role. Some of them jump back in later in the game, but some of them just are there for one scene and gone. And it's exactly what they need for that bit of comic relief or that bit of emotional point, that they're trying to make. It's great. And good sci-fi has a way of making you want to live in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And this just makes space seem so fun.
Yeah.
Even there's this big like universe ending threat, but like you still kind of want to be there because it looks like it'd be a good time. Like these are cool guys to hang out with, and I'd have a real good time just piloting my ship around the universe. Yeah, it's great. Right. I love it. Whereas Death's Door didn't necessarily live up to those Game of the Year expectations. I would have to say this. I could 100% see how this could be somebody's Game of the Year. I
think this one is going to be a big boost because of how recently it came out. It's in people's minds right now, but it also sounds like it's really good.
It is really good. It is really, really good. I have not played Mass Effect, but it is a comparison people make. And I have heard people say the importance of your choices matters. And that's true. You do feel it's not every decision you make, because you do make a good amount of decisions.
You're making them all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Wow.
But a good amount of them do in fact change things, and you do feel like it makes a difference, like it's impactful, especially when you get to the end of the game. Those decisions you make really have a payoff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool.
They could have, Avengers didn't have anything like that. It was just the gameplay.
Yeah, and even the combat, for all its faults in this game, it's way more engaging than the Avengers.
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't have to balance things with there's so many characters you play in Avengers. Yeah. For this, you're just playing Peter Quill, right? Mm-hmm. And you're kind of commanding the other people to do things.
Right. So it's good. It's good.
It seems like it's a much more focused style of game. Is the gameplay good? I've heard kind of it's fine, and then it's good. So
no, it's good. It's okay. It's not groundbreaking. It's not the best thing I've ever played, but it's good. It doesn't make you want to put the game down.
Right.
It doesn't detract from the experience in any way.
Okay.
The other game that I beat this week is The Forgotten City.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, you beat it.
I beat it. I made it through. I got 3 of the 4 endings.
Okay.
So I could go back and easily do the one I'm missing. It's not the good ending. I got that one. Yeah. But after getting the good ending, it's like, nah, why do it?
Right.
This is another one where it's an incredible story. The writing is phenomenal. It does this interesting Majora's Mask kind of time loop. So I guess I could give away the beginning of the plot. Basically, you find yourself in these ruins, and then there is a portal that brings you back in time. It's
right. So you are a modern day person Correct. That goes back in time.
Yeah. To like, I think like, gosh, I can't remember. I think they even say the year. It's like 84 CE or something.
Okay.
So everybody in this town is Roman, or some lives under the Roman Empire, basically.
Sure.
Whether or not they're Roman or some other nationality, but they all kind of have their individual problems to solve, and it leads you on different threads to solve everybody's individual problems, but there's an overarching problem of getting yourself out of this time. And that's how the story is presented to you. It is, if you've played Skyrim or you've played this game, you really don't get any weapons except for a bow out. And what was that, a spoiler?
No, there's another weapon you can get, I've heard.
Well, what do you mean? It's a bow.
You can get another weapon.
Oh, well, you can start with another weapon. It gives you that right off the bat. Yeah,
okay.
But you don't get it, and it's not the class. It's not the class I chose to start as.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy, though.
I think we can say it. It's a gun. You get the option to get a gun and bring it back into these ancient times.
Well, this actually brings up a good point. When you start out, they give you an option of. So the game immediately tells you will not succeed in this game through brute force. It is through exploration and like discovery and conversation and like understanding conversation. And it says that, it gives this little blurb right on the screen right off the bat. And then it gives you, basically the way it gives you your class choice is clever. The lady kind of asks, what's your profession? And you get to choose, I'm an archaeologist, and this will offer insight into the past and maybe give you some dialogue options that you wouldn't normally have. There are a few others. One of them is like veteran, and that's where you get the gun. I, of course, after reading that blurb, chose archaeologist because if like intellect is how you're going to make it through the game, I want that insight and the extra dialogue, right? And I do feel like it helped me, but I thought it was cool. The game is really, really fun to play. Everything.
Do you choose that every time, your profession? Because it's a loop, right?
It's a loop, but you're already that person going back in time. It's the back in time section that loops. So it's like already after this short little intro section.
I see.
Everything about this game is really, really cleverly put together. It feels like a puzzle. The whole thing, the area itself of the city is not huge. It's very, it has a lot of levels to it. It's very tiered.
Right.
And everything, all the different pathways you could use to get between it. There's always something tucked in there to discover. But it just domino effects very well. One task leads you to the next one, and they do pile on in a way, but never become overwhelming because you're constantly completing tasks as you're gaining new ones. And you're also, all these tasks kind of contribute to the big task at hand. So it never feels overwhelming with the missions that you're presented with. And it always feels very rewarding when you resolve those missions. There's always like a bigger payoff to help you on the big journey.
Right.
And I just really surprised me. Very, very surprising. It's a beautiful game. Looks much better than Skyrim. It's clever without being cryptic. It's just really well written. If you have a spare 6-8 hours, I would definitely say play this game. This is another one. That's it. And I got
cool.
In that time, I got 3 of the 4 endings.
Nice.
And the story goes to some places that like blow your mind. And I don't want to spoil. It's like Assassin's Creed 2 ending type of blow your mind.
Right.
Like it's out there. This game sometimes like you're like, what is happening? Wait, how did we get here? It's crazy. Right. It's good though. It's really, really good.
Yeah. I thought it was clever, and this is in the trailer, but they reference you as a modern person living through a pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Did you get to that part in the game?
There's some funny stuff actually. Like you meet someone in the modern time whose name is Karen, and she's like, I don't really like telling people my name. And then you hear it, and one of the dialogue options is like, man, memes really ruined it for you, huh? Like, so it is clever in a lot of ways. Yeah. And it definitely is timely too, even though it's set, in the past predominantly. Right. So I did try a few other games. Yep. I tried Nier Automata, made a few hours into it. I've heard comparisons to Dark Souls. It wasn't really hitting for me. Moved on very quickly.
Is that Game Pass?
It is Game Pass. Yeah,
wow.
Game Pass, yeah. So I did want to see if that was the next game for me. It's not at this point. I may go back, but and then I tried Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh, yeah. I hear good things there.
It's really, really cool. It's a turn-based RPG, actually, so it's right up my alley. But it's clever because I've played a few of the other Yakuza games, and those are mostly brawlers, right? Like beat 'em ups, aside from all the storytelling and everything else. But this is turn-based, and they explain it by the main character saying, like, "Oh, I grew up loving the Dragon Quest games," and even like the head of his Yakuza clan at one point says, "Oh, you know," they call themselves, they're the Arakawa clan, and the guy goes, "You know, the Arakawa party," and he kind of looks at him like, "Party," and he's like, and the head of the clan goes, "It's no different than those games you play."
Oh my gosh.
So of course, because of that reason, it has to play like a turn-based RPG, right?
Sure. Those games seem very silly to me.
It's so good. I shared something on Twitter today, like a little clip.
Sure.
And it's just like the ridiculous of it all. You know, even the thing I shared is barely even ridiculous. He's chasing a guy and the guy thinks he gets away, and then out of nowhere off like the second floor, he does just like a wrestling body slam on him. But it's like on concrete, and he just gets up like nothing ever happened.
Gosh.
It's so great, dude. I love it. You know, oh man, these games are just so endearing, so endearing. I can't wait to see more of it.
Sounds like Game Pass is treating you right, because everything you mentioned is there.
Yeah, for sure it is. I knew Game Pass was going to be trouble.
Yeah,
but it's good and bad. It is a never-ending backlog for me, but it also presents me the opportunity to play these games at no extra cost. So I do love it for that reason.
Right. Yeah. And then, especially for things like Nier, you played it, bounced off, and there's no cost in terms of like time for you at that point.
Yeah, exactly. It's true.
Very good.
It's true. All right. Well, enough about all the games I've played. Let's get into these lists. We're doing the top 10 box arts.
Let's do it.
All right, Brian. You ready for this? Boy,
I'm ready.
This is big. Top 10 box arts. I feel like people will approach this with something in mind.
Yes.
Everybody kind of has that box art that just stood out to them. Don't expect that to be on our list. I just want to say that right off the bat.
Yeah.
I hope I got good ones. I definitely did some that are near and dear to me, but I did others that I only discovered over this last week.
Oh, so you saw it and were able to make a judgment right then.
And I was like, damn, that is good. That is some good stuff. Yeah, for sure. Cool. So with that being said, my my honorable mention, I can't believe I regressed, man, is Super Mario Brothers 3. So it was a toss-up between this and the redesigned cover of the original Metroid game on the NES. They both kind of have that yellow background with the red character against it, and it just pops. It's like a very good contrast between those two colors. The Metroid one also has kind of like a gray triangular shape behind Samus. So it just doesn't have that same like cleanliness to it. Yeah. But if you look at the Super Mario Brothers, that's why I chose SMB3, baby. But if you look at that, like, it's not only iconic, it's iconic for a reason. The way the font follows the same angle as Mario's flight. They utilize the same blue and reds that just contrast on that yellow extremely well. I mean, it popped. This thing popped on a shelf, especially when you're dealing with all these other covers that have darker tones. You know, even in the background, it's either blacks or navy blues.
Sure.
Boom, you just have
you never see yellow.
Bright yellow. Yeah, I was staring at you, but it blended with everything well. And it was there's the man. Like there's who you're looking for, front and center. And wait, what's the suit? He looks like he's flying. Mario's never done that before. Like intrigue, everything. Excitement.
That was one of my favorite ones to draw. Just like that Mario flying through the wind.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to imagine a way this cover could improve. It's so simple, but
it's very plain. I mean, there's not a lot going on, but
have you seen it lately though, man? It's
yeah,
beautiful.
I mean, I came across, I can visualize it in my mind all the time.
Yeah. I really appreciate it for its, lack of busyness. It's just, I like how clean it is. I like that it stands out. It pops. It conveys everything it needs to convey. And it's iconic. I think at this point, people, I'm sure right now, if you're listening in your car and I'm saying the Super Mario Brothers 3 cover, you don't have to look that thing up.
Right.
You know exactly what it looks like if you've ever seen it before. And
that's it.
That's the mark of a good cover. It sticks with you.
Well, to that point, my number 11 is Super Mario 64. Can you envision this one?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yes.
Really?
Yes. So he's flying through the air again, but he's got that whole world behind him, and it shows the kind of 3D nature that you're about to encounter in the game. And I think that's what struck me pretty much with it. It has that almost like a Mario Galaxy like worlds that you can go all the way around.
It's got like the Goomba behind them.
Right.
And
right.
the castle, but the Goomba's
Just
like
everything.
half the size of the castle.
Yeah. It's a little weird on that. But yeah, it's kind of wacky.
The font's good though. I like that.
The font is very good. I feel like
font,
that's like the Mario font nowadays.
It is, yeah.
So, they developed it there. I also really like N64 boxes in general. Really? I like the stripe on the side that tells you what you're getting. As a kid, the only 4. I mean, that's super important. I feel like I can't really remember was this the first time that a company started doing that? Like if there was an exclusive.
No, I think this might have been the first time. Yeah.
I can't remember PlayStation doing it, like PlayStation 1.
No.
I remember obviously Xbox had only on Xbox like a big stamp, but that was after this. So yeah, I remember always looking for that and being impressed when it was there.
Yeah, look what I can get. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, just seeing those like 1 to 4 players simultaneously, or Rumble Pack, or anything like that. I don't know. It was an interesting time for sure, because it was like before you would just have your system and that was it. And now, like even like when you bought a Super Nintendo, you got 2 controllers, you had everything you needed. But this was like a status symbol. Like, yeah, I got 4 controllers. That's right. I have 2 Rumble Packs. It's, I don't know. It's just, look at all the add-ons that I could get.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, it's a good one.
Super Mario 64.
It is a good one. Mario flying in a new way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Good pick. Good pick.
Thank you.
Well, as we head into our top 10 here, this is a game I've never played.
Oh, okay.
But I can still appreciate the box art for it. And that game, of course, is Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Kingdom Hearts 1?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Definitely.
Gotcha.
I remember seeing this and wanting to play the game because of this cover.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear that what you're looking at are Final Fantasy characters, those types of characters, right?
Right.
And like, what the heck are Goofy and Donald doing there? Right? It's like, wait a minute. And it's interesting. It's another one. I think I have a certain style I like. Everybody's drenched in shadow, kind of in the dark, with the big heart-shaped moon behind them. And it's just really good contrast, right? Like it really, and they all have this like glow from the moonlight on them. They're all the building tops behind them.
Yeah. That
look almost like Victorian, like in a way, almost macabre, right?
Yeah.
And so I've not played these games, but I did find out this only made me more sure that this had to be on my list. So you note that they're all facing the light except for one of them.
Who is that?
That's Riku, who apparently turned away from the light, like didn't choose the light. So like, spoiler alert, if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts, I haven't, but I figure you either have or haven't at this point. Right. But yeah, I think that's very clever symbolism for cover art, especially like you give away the goose right there and nobody really knows it until you can actually appreciate it.
Sure.
But yeah, it's very cool to see Goofy carrying Mickey head shield.
Right.
And I just think it's really cool, man. Like how they get up there, how they getting down. Are these kids going to hurt themselves? I don't know. They might hurt themselves on the way down. It looks like it'd be quite a drop. They also look like the type of people who could handle it.
Yeah. I think Kingdom Hearts is a cool name too. Mm-hmm. I think it, there's a lot of baggage with it right now, just since they've done so many games. Right. But I remember seeing this box art and putting all those pieces together, like Final Fantasy. Wait, Disney? Like what? Yeah. What is this? Yeah. So it's certainly a crazy amalgamation of different properties, and you can see the tone of the game right there in the box art for sure.
First time I saw the Keyblade too. And I'm like, that is a crazy looking sword. Because this was around the time Final Fantasy was crazy looking swords, right?
Oh, yeah.
Guys with crazy looking swords was what Final Fantasy was.
Sure.
And the first thing I thought is, wow, that is like a really inventive design. And the second thing I thought of is, how on earth is that effective in any way?
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, Kingdom Hearts, my number 10.
Very good. I like it. What do you think of the other Kingdom Hearts boxes? Like I remember when 3 came out, it's way more colorful. Mm-hmm. But you tend to like more of the darker, like silhouetted features, it looks like, or contrast, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought this one really, like, I don't know. I the contrast in Super Mario Bros. 3 was great. The contrast in this is good. Like it really, with the yellow of the moon pops out, makes a lot of the stuff like, that very good, like shrouded in darkness kind of look with a little bit of the moonlight bouncing off of them. I really like that. But it's just, it pops. I don't know. Yeah. There's not really a particular feature. And as we go along, you'll see it's not just that contrast that I enjoy.
Sure.
I just felt like this was, from an artistic standpoint, it spoke to me more than the other Kingdom Hearts covers.
I mean, I'm looking at Kingdom Hearts 3 and it looks like it's colorful, but it looks like they kind of just like, I don't know. The characters don't even look like they're in the environment. It just like pasted on, like someone took some stickers and like put them on a coloring page or something. Mm-hmm. So yeah. All right. Good pick.
Thanks.
All right. Well, my number 10 is Borderlands. And I'm just going with Borderlands 1. All of the Borderlands games have pretty clever box art.
Yeah.
Just because, the first one, so it's a guy pointing fingers at his head, and the splatter, it kind of has images of the game on the other side. But you kind of got the tone of Borderlands, at least Borderlands 1, from this image. Just one of these psychotic characters being nuts, and then just to mention the others, Borderlands 2, he's holding up 2 fingers this time, so whenever games do that, it's a cool way to signify where we are in the,
like
the
Left
lineage
4 Dead,
here.
Right?
Exactly. Well,
not maybe on my list.
Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Sorry.
But and then the pre-sequel was just like the same guy just flipped on his head out in space. So there's interesting things like that.
Yeah.
But I think
the Handsome collection is like the gold, right? The gold.
Right. Yeah.
But it's the same, this like psychotic person. Psycho.
One of those, I think they're just psychos. Yeah. So, but I think that tone being conveyed pretty dramatically, because it's like, okay, this is a weird kind of suicidal thing that's happening on screen, but
you know what that cover has? A lot of good contrast.
That's
Let's
right.
go, baby. Contrast and the word of the day. No, I'm kidding. No, it's a good pick, man, for sure. It's iconic. Definitely. You said Borderlands cover. I know exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. Right.
Stuck with me. Definitely. Good one.
I feel like I did a lot of my research for this one just in my head. Like, what's coming to mind? Oh yeah, that one. So
yeah, it's a good way to do it. You know what you like. You know what you like. So my number 9, Brian, is F-Zero-X, but it's the Japanese cover.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a Nintendo 64 cover. However, not a US one. But man, it is super cool looking. It starts from the top and it is like lightning coming down, and then you see the faces of all the characters, right? You got Samurai Goro, you got Dr. Stewart, you got Jody Summer, Mr. EAD, and then of course the man himself, Captain Falcon, front and center. And underneath them, you got all the vehicles speeding along the track.
Yeah,
with like that metallic F-Zero X underneath them, and it all feels like it's just coming at you, right? Like It's got those like anime action lines coming out from the center. It's very cool, very dynamic, powerful, man. Epic. Look at that lightning. Look at that lightning.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So the US cover was basically the lower half with the vehicles, and you didn't get all the character faces up above it, which and it's kind of because the layout, all N64 US covers were landscape, not portrait. And this is like portrait style. So you really get that verticality in the picture, and they're able to put that in it.
Oh, but it is the same picture.
It's the same picture. Okay. Yeah. It's like copy and pasted the bottom half on there, basically.
Yeah.
But it's really that upper half that makes this superior in my mind, because you get the characters that are in the game, and they're very like well drawn, and it looks like you want to know more. Like, who are these people? Who's this angry fella in the bottom left? Like, everybody looks angry.
Yeah.
Why are they angry?
Who knows? They're losing the race. That's probably why.
That's right. But yeah, it's a great cover, man. Super
epic.
I
just looking at that cover, because the one that comes to my mind is F-Zero GX for GameCube. Not as good.
Not as good, right? This is definitely one. That looks more like created in a program. And this one looks like someone took the time to do it by hand.
Like drew it. Yeah.
Really, really drew it or painted it, and it looks great, man. Really, really great.
I'm going to tell you something upsetting. I have never played an F-Zero game in my entire life.
I mean, am I upset? Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're great. They're good. They're good. I don't know if they're like, they're not that game that I'm like, oh, you should have never missed an F-Zero game. Like, it's not the end of the world if you haven't played F-Zero.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not alone.
Okay.
I like them, but I don't know.
I feel like Wipeout is the closest thing I've played.
Yeah.
I like Wipeout.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like the F-Zero. Well, they just don't make these games either. So
it's a good analog. It's a good analog to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good pick. I had not been familiar with that. I barely even know the N64 North American version.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I mentioned this one, or you mentioned this one.
My number 9. Which one it is?
Yeah. So this one's kind of a joint one for me. Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2, and Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
I'm grouping into one single
thing.
They're
good.
The Back 4 Blood logo is really cool.
I think so too.
Right?
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just that. So the Back 4 Blood logo. I mean, we'll picture it here, but it's just a negative space 4 of the, all of your main characters in the center of a zombie horde, and you just see this big 4 for the surrounding area.
Right. It's like clearing. It's like a clearing around them. They're all back to back, right? And the clearing around them makes the 4, and outside of that clearing is just like the horde coming out. And it's cool. It's very cool.
I think it's cool. And obviously they were playing from Left 4 Dead with the hand
missing
and
the
just
thumb, right?
having the number there in the title. Very important to know that you can play with 4 players.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I would say the Back 4 Blood cover is way cooler. Also of note, I don't feel like I see too many covers anymore, because I'm buying my games digitally, and I'm trying to think, like, you don't really see the cover when you're doing like the eShop or PlayStation Store. It's just images of the game, basically.
Right.
So
PlayStation does that thing where they have that title card when you hover over it on the home menu.
Okay.
And that's really cool, I think. Like,
okay.
You've probably seen it with your PlayStation 5. right? With Miles Morales.
It pains me to say that I have not played that much of the PlayStation 5 yet, but it's just I don't have these games that like I want to play Ghost of Tsushima, and
you better stop
Ratchet
saying that word and those words before you say Returnal.
Returnal.
The first
Returnal
thing out of your mouth should be Returnal. All right. I love you,
Returnal
Brian,
is the
but
one.
like, let's get with the program.
I know. Yeah, I don't want to play a PS4 game.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I do, since I didn't play it at all. But yeah, Returnal is definitely the first pick, unless I don't get to it before Horizon.
I'm totally joking anyway.
I know,
because like you might not even enjoy it as much as I did. You know?
Oh no, I know just from what little I played that I will enjoy the entirety of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it definitely, I'm glad that I tried both Returnal and Ratchet with you, because Ratchet would have been the one that I would have gravitated towards, but I would much rather play something like Returnal right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So, you know what you got? Yeah. It's like a mood thing too, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
That's definitely how I've been gaming lately, is what I'm in the mood for. I'm playing. And like, that's why I put down Nier. It's not that it wasn't entertaining. It's just for what I wanted to play right now. It wasn't that.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I have to say about, yeah.
Sorry. It goes back to the time thing you were saying. Like, we don't have a lot of time to waste. I'm not going to 100% a game. I'm on to the next one, baby. There are too many games out there, right?
There really are. It's upsetting.
It is.
Remember as a kid, like holding on to a game and like playing it as much as possible because that's the game that you had.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
And
I mean,
it does.
Returnal, but yeah.
And I'm sure it does happen for, you know, kids or people who don't have the
Game Pass
the wealth of riches of Game Pass, or, you know, just being able to buy whatever game comes by.
Mm-hmm.
So, or, you know, getting games for free all the time like I do.
Right.
It's just crazy.
I'm wondering when you're going to include me on those perks, man.
I just don't have your email, so it's hard sometimes.
Well, it's listoffpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting them. I snatch up the codes when they come into that email.
right. I'm shaking my fist for the audio listeners. All right, so moving on to my number 8. What was your number 9 again? One more time.
Left 4 Dead.
1,
Back 4 2, 4. Yeah,
that's good. That's good picks. So moving on to my number 8, it is the PAL region version of the Resident Evil 4 cover.
Is this the silhouetted chainsaw man?
Yeah. So you've seen this one? Oh my gosh, it is so good. It's so good. It is
black and red.
Black and red. Yeah, contrast. God, what is with me, dude? No, but it's eerie. It's like a blood red sky, and all you have are these thin, like leafless trees, a wooded area, and amongst the shadows of the trees, you see just a guy hanging, the chainsaw guy, Potato Sack Man, right? With the chainsaw at his side. And it's like, it makes you feel very uneasy, like you're going to be lost in the woods with people with chainsaws chasing you. And that's kind of what the game is for a portion of it. And yeah, it gives you great unease to look at this cover. And in some ways, the game doesn't really generate the same feeling that this cover does. Mm-hmm. But the cover is definitely eye-popping, and it makes you want to play it. You know, obviously everybody's played it by now, but if I were in Europe at the time and saw this on the shelf, and even if I hadn't had prior experience with Resident Evil, it would become apparent this was a horror game, and it was probably going to scare me. Yeah, it's a very good cover, man. Two colors, black and red, the whole thing.
Isn't it crazy how each region has a very distinct way that they present their box art?
So you had made the comment last week. I love all box art. I love Japanese box art, and I love American box art. This is so much better than the US box art of Resident Evil 4. Mm-hmm. Like, it is.
It's just Leon.
Not even.
I think in North America we focus on the characters and just like having big characters, and I think definitely whenever I came across European or Japan, I think European more so, they had more of that kind of like either the landscape or you just saw more of the world and less of the characters per se. It's a very interesting distinction that kind of just happens. So yeah, I saw it over and over again.
Yeah. So he apparently is just the Chainsaw Ganado. I thought he had a name.
Potato Sack Man.
That's what I'm calling him from now on. But
that was not a name I encountered.
So you knew this cover? You actually have seen it before?
No, not before this episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it's a good one. Definitely.
I've probably seen it and been like, oh, someone did some fan art for Resident Evil 4.
I would have said that about after seeing this. It looks like the US version is fan art.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing in my mind.
This is high art, Brian.
It is. Yes.
I'll have you now. I'm kidding.
In my mind, I have the North American covers of everything. Like that's what I first see in my mind.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, anytime like I have to kind of second guess, like, is this a real like video game? Like if I saw a Japanese version of like Resident Evil 4 in a Goodwill, I would be like, someone went to a great lengths to make a bootleg copy of this game. I wouldn't know if it was real or not. So
yeah,
good pick.
Thanks,
Resident Evil 4 European PAL version, much cooler box art.
100%.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 8, speaking of big characters, is Killer Instinct for the Super Nintendo. Killer Cut CD included. Just a big old picture of Fulgore. I really like Fulgore as a character in Killer Instinct. Do you know that character from the box art?
I'd be lying if I said yeah.
Oh man, okay. Well, he's the one with the like side blades, the blue.
I'm definitely not looking it up right now.
Okay, yeah, you should look it up. But everything about it. So we got this awesome font. It's killer font. It very much, it looks like someone just like took a katana and like slashed the K in the eye, and those are just very iconic.
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
Oh yeah, that's Fulgore. He's just hanging out in like some warehouse with a lava pit behind him,
punching cameras.
And yeah, he's punching the camera, getting ready to face his next opponent. And again, this is only for Nintendo, which is not even true. Like this game was available on the arcade as well. So
I guess this dispels your theory about the 64 being the first one to have it.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Probably even the Game Boy had it, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't remember like a NES game having it though.
I don't know, but Nintendo, such innovators.
Yes.
No, I'm just, even when it comes to box art.
But yeah, this one, this was cool. And I mean, I know we're not doing this, but that cartridge was black, which was so cool
to have do that
differently colored. I mean, there weren't that many that did, in the N64, they did it in the Super Nintendo, but what is it? Black, gray, yellow, blue,
red
for what? Spider-Man?
64 had some red cartridges.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Wasn't it like Carnage or Spider-Man or something?
I don't know.
Had a red one. I feel like there was a green one at some point, maybe like Army Man.
Maybe. Yeah.
They had a good amount of green colors.
Army Man. Yeah. There was an Army Man that was green, and there was a red, blue. Did we say blue?
We said blue for like Tony Hawk and The World Is Not Enough.
Gold, Brian?
Gold and silver.
Yeah. So maybe we could do this. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, Killer Instinct. Good pick.
Yes.
For
Killer
sure,
Instinct.
For sure.
And it came with a CD. Like what? That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, the game's not even on a CD, for crying out loud.
I know. Yeah. That kind of blew my mind. I mean, what were they going to do? Put it on a tape? Yeah.
Well, they used to. There were games on tapes. I'm old. All right. Anyway, moving on to my number 7. My number 7 is from the PlayStation 2, and it is Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
That's a good one.
This cover looks like the entire thing. Someone applied a sepia filter to it. Which
normally, I mean, the whole game has that.
Right. Normally, I would say it's bad, but it actually makes the cover look a little cooler. Kind of sets the right tone for it, but also makes the sunlight that's shining through like the Colossus's armpit. Right. Kind of makes it look a little more dusty, like just more tangible, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the lighting effects that more recent systems have are that kind of effect is displayed on the cover. And the light is conveniently shining right down on our protagonist. And
yes,
aggro. And there's like that sense of scale, right? It feels very imposing. And when you look at the box cover, you immediately think, how are you going to defeat these things? I mean, it's apparent he has stone hands, stone feet, right? He's got stone on his face, and like, how's a guy with a sword going to topple this thing?
Right.
And then you have the castle, of course, the temple rather, in the background, kind of reaching towards the sky. And yeah, it just looks cool. It makes you want to figure things out, like how, not only how to beat him, but what is that temple? What's that all about? And it does accurately convey the game as well. It looks like this when you're in the game, like you said. There is kind of that filter on everything. Shadow of the Colossus for the PS4, the remake, has good box art too, but I definitely think this one is just structured better.
Oh yeah,
it just looks like it has a more of a purpose in telling the game player what they're getting into.
Even I didn't notice this before, but even the text on the between the two games is different. We have a more like 3D effect, and there's more color to the Shadow of the Colossus for PS2. On the PS4 it's just white, some distress, but
this looks like something chiseled out of stone.
Which I mean, we're looking at two different time periods, so of course this is more modernized, the PS4 version.
But the PS4 version too, like the camera's kind of panned back, and you get more of a what's going on around the Colossus and the protagonist. But in this, it's drawn in closer, and I think it creates a greater sense of scale than the PS4 version does for that reason. Yeah. And different Colossus, different. They use different Colossi for each.
Yeah, they do
too. And I think this one looks a lot better than the other one.
Yeah, you're right. Very good. I was very heavily contemplating this one because I mean, it's one of my favorite games ever. So that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Thanks.
All right. Well, my number 7 is another Mario game. And this is Super Mario All-Stars. I love this box art. We get everything.
Abracadabra.
Exactly. With Magician Mario here. I need to pull it up just so I get everything.
You do.
All the magic going here. I did not have Super Mario All-Stars plus Worlds, but you didn't need it because this box art was just perfect by itself. So it shows you all the games. First off, we got your signature yellow for Mario 3. But yeah, all the different like rectangles of the games are there, and all the different Marios you see. Like I think it's because I liked drawing these characters so much. I really like the art style of the old Mario games, like from Super Mario World and pretty much all these. It's just so cool. Like there's such fun characters with cool designs and some bold lines. I just really loved drawing these characters. And did you ever I mean, of course you had like the booklets and stuff, and you would get just like everything about the game and the characters. And I really liked the comics from Nintendo Power of Mario, and
the cartoon. There was a cartoon around that time too. Yeah.
So all that stuff kind of plays into it. But yeah, I would love to have, and I know it exists, but that like Mario compendium where you just see just picture after picture of all this.
That's cool.
Cool key art.
Yeah, I know I made a joke about Abracadabra because it popped in my head, and I was thinking of the art as laughable, but like I'm looking at it now, and it is cool. It's hand drawn, which does add a lot to it.
Right.
And I think because it's hand drawn, it doesn't, like you had mentioned with the Kingdom Hearts 3, how some of the characters look like they're just placed there and not actually in the background. Like as silly as like the composition is of this, they actually look like they're there because it's all drawn. Right.
Yep.
I like the Bowser chilling in like the Cloud Bowser behind them all too. It's pretty cool.
Not many people see that Bowser, but he's there.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It is good. I have to say, like looking at it, it won me over.
It's fun. I think it's fun. Really fun.
Yeah, and that's what video games are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good pick, man.
Apparently not. They neglected to use their only for Nintendo banner on this one, but whatever.
Which it
probably didn't exist at that part.
It definitely is only for Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah. Good pick though. Moving on to my number 6. I kind of alluded to PlayStation 5 having those little game cards, and when you hover over them, you get the background on your home screen. The box art for my next pick actually is that home screen cover too, but it's animated on the home screen, which only adds a greater effect. But the game I'm talking about for my number 6 is the Demon Souls remake for the PlayStation 5. I see a lot of people talking about Dark Souls being a great cover. It is a great cover. Dark Souls Remastered, also a great cover.
They're okay.
It's all about that bonfire, buddy.
I like Demon Souls.
Oh my gosh, it is
way better.
So good looking, dude. Dripping with like epicness. You got the
maybe
dragon.
I'll play that first before Returnal.
The thing is, like, you don't even notice the dragon flying over the castle. I wouldn't look, play Demon Souls. You wouldn't. I'm not mad at you. Play Ratchet and Clank. I'm not mad at you. Play anything you want. I am not mad at you. Finish Miles Morales. We are good, buddy.
Yeah,
like, you can do it. But yeah, just look at like the characters coming out of the fog, like the depth that fog creates, right? And then it kind of has this escalation as it goes further back into the fog. You get kind of the grunts, the menial little minions that you slice with little issue at the front, but then further back you see, more imposing enemies, and then boom, this just huge castle overlooking everything with the torn banners and the fires. Like, it's obviously in turmoil. And why is it in turmoil? What's that coming over the castle? A dragon. It's so cool, man. It's just like, I love like modern art that depicts medieval settings. Medieval artwork was terrible, but so I have to be careful how I word that. But man, just something about like medieval, like art that takes place in like medieval fantasy that just oozes style. It just speaks to me. And like, this is so cool. The armor, the detail on the armor, like the detail on everything on this cover is astounding. And then when you put it on your PS5 screen, that fog is animated now. And it just kind of comes up from the ground, and all those creatures kind of like move a little bit. Everything's just moving a little bit, and it breathes that life into the cover, and it just really goes that extra step.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool. Very dark and like moody. I love it.
I also really like the PS3 cover art for Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Not as much. Big blue character. Yeah.
Not as much. I mean, good. I'm glad you know.
Yeah, no, this one sets the scene. I mean, I think the PS3 version, what is this game? Like, you can't really tell anything about it.
Right.
You know exactly the game that the PS5 version is, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is literally pulled from one of the worlds in the game.
Yeah.
And it looks that good in game too. But you're right about the Demon's Souls PS3. Like, it doesn't convey anything about the game, but like, man, it's still really, really good artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, my next one is, what number are we on here? Number 6.
6, yeah, 6.
So my number 6 is Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo. I adore this artwork. It is just a huge green tree, just moss covered. And you see our 3 protagonists kind of in the foreground, and some, let's call them some birds of paradise flying around here. I loved looking at just like the booklet on this one. Yeah. I had the game, and God, kicking myself for not having kept these boxes and manuals, and obviously the games themselves, but we all had these treasures that are now lost to time.
I can't think about it.
I know. It's very upsetting.
Yeah.
I actually had a big old booger on my Secret of Mana instruction booklet.
Was it yours?
I don't remember. Remember how it got there.
It was a Brian booger.
It was probably mine. But that's how much I loved these games. I caressed them a little too aggressively sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this cover's cool. we get some pretty good contrast. I mean, it's green and then these red birds and yellow, big yellow text of Secret of Mana. I also really like Secret of Evermore. The games are not related in any way, shape, or form.
No, but Secret of Evermore was good.
Yeah, that was terrifying box art. I don't even know what creature that is, but this big kind of bug with huge claws, and obviously a huge creature, and you're there with your dog. But Secret of Mana just had a cool ambiance to it, and it's been a long time since I played the game, but I think you go to this location. I think it's a pretty big part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I don't have Chrono Trigger on my list here, just to show my hand on that, because Secret of Mana really is my box art of choice when it comes to games like that.
Wow. So I don't have Chrono Trigger on my list. I'm kind of surprised it's not on your list.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but so the Chrono Trigger box art is good too. I really like it. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
For the characters are not using their correct stuff. That creature is like in the game for a little bit and not really. I feel like there are way better creatures to draw from, but it's still fine. But yeah, Secret of Mana really colored it for me.
Yeah, no, that's a really good pick, man.
Thank you.
It's one of those, not to say this again, but it's one of those where you were like, oh, Secret of Mana. And I'm like, boom. I immediately picture that huge green mossy tree, right?
Yeah.
And like, I like could see it as you're describing it without ever having to look it up. Yeah. Yeah, no, good pick.
Thank you.
So that will take us to our number 5. And my number 5 is Castlevania for the NES.
Cool.
I
saw this one. No. This was dangerously close to being on my list. All the Castlevania games have beautiful. Well, not all.
Simon's
not
Quest
all.
is like not really that great.
And also, what is it? What's the 64 version?
Really Legacy
bad.
of Darkness. Legacy of Darkness, which was I like the game. All right, you could just rake me across the coals now, but I liked the game.
Oh man, I didn't even bother with it,
dude. I mean, so the original Castlevania artwork I would have on my wall. It's that good, and
it looks real cool.
It is such like every color that's in it, the green, the yellow, the red, the blue. It is such a saturation. It's like a very saturated version of that color, and it just looks so good. I really do enjoy saturated colors. Like I want to see the color I'm looking at. So it just like it pops. It looks like, oh, look at that blue. Like I want to eat it. It looks so good. I'm sorry, it is. And then it's immediately like, hey, look, you got this castle on a mountain. That's where you're going. Who are you going after? That big scary Dracula, like laughing at you right now, and you want to punch that Dracula in the face because he is mocking you. And what is Simon doing? Look at that, man. Look at the way he's holding that whip. You don't feel whip. He's not scared. No. He's gonna beat that dude's ass. That, my friends, is a passionate whip, and I'm not talking about S&M.
Oh my god.
He means business, dude. He's got his little sword in his holster. Look at those legs. This dude is jacked. He's
he doesn't
skip leg day. He doesn't skip leg day. No. And he's into leather. Seems like my type of guy.
Did you say that at Back for Blood, or was that our friend who was playing? Remember the guy come in
Oh, that's right.
Was that you or was that
I was like, oh, she's punk rock. Like, I said, like, it was like this character's being introduced who's in leather and she's got like a mohawk. And I'm like, oh, check her out. She's punk rock and she's dressed in leather. I'm into that. And he's like, I could tell that about you.
Oh, that's right. Jeez. Oh man.
That was classic.
I hope we run into that guy one day again.
Oh man, that's so good. So anyway, this is all jokes aside. This cover is phenomenal.
Oh man, that's good.
You could tell there's a grudge there. You could tell Simon Belmont, like, he will stop at nothing to accomplish his goal of defeating Dracula. Like it's a powerful cover. Look at the way the moon, like there's no clouds in the sky except where the moon is. Right. They're all like, it's like the bat wings coming off Dracula. It is like, I can't get over how good this cover looks. I'm looking at it right now, and it's like better than I thought when I made this list. It probably should have been higher up, honestly.
No, I'm envious now. Yeah.
Like, and this is painted. Someone took the time, and look at the gleam in like Dracula's eyes. Like, this is incredible. On the whip. Like, oh my gosh, this is, guys, look at this. Like, look up this artwork. I know you're probably like driving or something, so don't look up the artwork. But next time you're thinking about it, like, I'm not kidding. If you could get it without all the Nintendo like side silver box on the side, the painting itself is just incredibly epic, man. Yeah, like it is an 80s child's dream come true.
Right,
you know? It really is, man.
That is there for sure.
Yeah.
All the Castlevania like GBA games have really good box art too. I think every single one of those, like I can picture it, and I just love that art style. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if is it just straight anime? I don't know.
I wouldn't say this covers anime. Maybe
this one
like,
is not.
Yeah. No, but the other ones I would say
the GBA
ones. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but it still looks really good. Yeah, they all look really good.
I was really tempted to kind of like get the artist names for each and every one of these.
I was too. I really neglected to do so.
It was. I mean, it's kind of difficult sometimes to get that, especially for a game like as old as original Castlevania. Those artists weren't really as celebrated as they are nowadays.
I'm glad you brought that up because I really meant to, and I just honestly, for time constraints, I didn't have the time. And it's terrible for me to say that. Like, they do deserve all the credit in the world for creating these things, and like I'm sorry for not knowing that.
Well, I want to do a shout out because there is an organization, or I guess it's one guy, Art of Nintendo Power. He is in a pursuit to get everything related to Nintendo Power and all the artists that created those covers. And he himself, the person who does Art of Nintendo Power, gets some of the original, because they used physical things to photograph some of these covers. So like the Mario paint, he's got like that original sculpture of Mario. And just, you can tell that that's the one that was used in the photograph. They're not always in the best condition because they, have been presumably passed around or just neglected and not taken care of. But these are pieces of history at this point that it's that game preservation. We want to preserve everything we can, especially like imagine having a pack of Nintendo trading cards at this point. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. So apparently it was inspired by a classic 70s painting by Franz Frazetta. And it is very clear looking at that this Castlevania art was pulled from it.
I say. So they just copied.
No. Like it's, there was a lot of this. Look at the original Metal Gear game for NES, and it is very obviously like what's his name? Sean Bean. There are a lot of instances where it's pulled directly from some other sort of work.
Sure.
But it's beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I like I said, came real close to putting some sort of Castlevania. I think the ones that spoke to me more were the GBA ones, but looking at this one up close, that looks real good.
Doesn't it? Right. Man.
All right. Well, getting to my number 5, I had to have one of these on here because, again, I am in love with most all the artwork. So Final Fantasy VI is the one that I'm choosing for my list. And it's the Final Fantasy VI. So,
good one. Yeah.
Not Final Fantasy 3. Right. Okay. Right. But not that box art. I don't really like that box art. But Final Fantasy VI. So I think the GBA version kind of has a little bit of it. But I think the Japanese version is really what I'm pulling from. But it's just, we get a good contrast here. It's mostly red, black, and white. But the artistry here, it feels like, I don't know how they do it, but it's almost like a pencil drawing with like painted colors on it. And I think that just looks so cool. Yeah. And then each and every logo of Final Fantasy has kind of like components of whatever you're looking at in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So it has the red and the black gradient on this, like, I forget what they are in the game, but kind of this like machine walker thing.
Yeah. Like a mech.
Exactly. Yeah. Like a mech. Just
pops.
Everything about I honestly, all of these different Final Fantasy covers of this era.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the important thing. I think they kind of stopped at 7 and did a very different thing, which the Final Fantasy 7 cover art is really cool, but this way more is in my wheelhouse for what I like.
So there were a few that I thought of, not just Final Fantasy games, but have this kind of art style where it's almost like there's so much going on in those pencil drawings. It's almost like messy, like bioorganic, like, you know, it's very, very cool and highly stylized. None of those did make my list, but man, they are really a certain style and it's extremely well done. Yeah.
It's up my alley, and they still use this style every once in a while. I think it was
biomechanical. I mean, not bioorganic, biomechanical. But sorry. Yeah.
I think it was. Isn't there like a Zodiac Final Fantasy something or other? And they use the same. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's the same kind of like colors that are. It's almost like a gradient is like swooshed across it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just that pencil drawing almost. I don't know if that's what it is.
It does look like it would be, but yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I think that's just so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very good, very well done. Good pick.
Thank you.
I'm glad it made one of our lists.
Yeah.
So moving on to my number 4. My number 4 is cue the metal music, because my number 4 is Doom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what's my number 4?
What?
Doom.
Get out of here. Is it really?
Yeah.
Dope, dude. Is. The original?
Yes, the original.
Yeah. Let's go, buddy. Is it because he shows a little bit of his midriff there?
Yeah, he's it's what's doing it for me.
Yeah. No, this is like, oh man, I remember preteen, I think preteen, maybe teen, seeing this and just, you know, you hear about Doom, you hear how cool it is and how it's crazy and gory and like it's all this stuff that any little young man would want to play. And then you see the cover and it is like this man standing alone on a mountain surrounded by demons, and he is like unrelentingly gunning them down with like, extreme prejudice. And it's cool. He's torn up a little bit. Like it's like he's on his last leg. There's a guy like in the background, hey, like help. It's good.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Another space marine.
Yeah, exactly. But man, all these demons, they look hungry for him. But
I mean, they're grabbing him. They've got him.
Yeah, they got him. But he's not stopping. Like he will not let. And it's cool because like there are like these subtleties there. Like they're grabbing him. They got him. But that you could tell he's got a few scratches on him. That's happened before, and he's made it out of that situation. So like, this guy's tough, man. He knows what he's doing, you know. Yeah, and then the writing, of course. But you please talk about what you enjoy about it, because I feel like I went on a tangent there.
So I always saw this as the guy had 2 guns, but there's really not. There's like another creature blasting at him.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is the demon in the foreground. He's looking back at us
like you're there,
and he's like, we're about to get this guy. And I don't know, just that demon right there really changes it all for me.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Yeah. Did you see him?
Well, no, I always saw that guy. Okay. What I didn't see, it's a first person game. There's a gun right next to him. He's looking at you like they're coming for you next.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't.
You could see look off to the right, like the guy on the mountain, like his bullets going through, and you can see the blood spatter coming off that other demon. That's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. I like this because I'm finding new things that like I didn't even notice when I put them on my list.
Right.
I just thought Doom was so epic when I was younger. It's got to be on my list.
Yeah.
But the writing too, the font style, everything, it's definitely a hand-drawn writing for Doom, and it is cool, man. It's got like that kind of like cyber look to the top half and very like concrete like look to the bottom half. It's good, man. It's
that was something I wanted to bring up when we were talking about Castlevania. Isn't it crazy that we are still using the same logos that we used when these games were created? I mean, yes, they have some updates to them, but the Doom logo that we see from this 93 version, same one for 2016. Castlevania, same, like the same basic shape is there. That's it.
It's wild.
That's cool. That's a mark of a good design, I think.
It's funny, like I've been staring at this thing for longer than I'd care to admit. Like throughout my life, I never noticed the gun. I never noticed that like that demon is actually looking at you as though you're a character in the world.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And subsequent Dooms had good box art too. I mean, they play off that basic theme of you surrounded by a million different demons. Also the Duke Nukem cover art.
It was this basically.
They did it as, you know, everything is tongue in cheek with Duke Nukem. So
of course. No, it's a good one. Good number 4.
Yeah. We'll take it away with number 3 then.
Yeah, I will. So my number 3 is you ready for this? You should Google this, Brian, because I don't think you're ready for Ghouls and Ghosts for the Japanese Mega Drive. This cover is super BA. So on the cover, you've got, if you played like the Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, you know that as you gain power-ups, if you get like a second power-up, you become gold, and like your power-up gets a little kick, like a new variant of it. You basically become like the most powerful version of Arthur. And in the front cover, you are that. It's the lightning striking as you're getting that power-up, and in the background, you have a demon. And I think the coolest thing is the traditional art style. They really go for like a traditional Japanese art style. It's not even like anime. The creature behind you is very much something that ripped out of Japanese mythology, like a demon from the old tapestries you see involving like Japanese mythology. It's a really cool looking art style. And it looks like this super powerful knight on the front cover, just ready to take him on. And then it conveys the drama on the back part of the cover where he's caressing his fallen love. And in the background, there's the demon head, like laughing, mocking you again. Very, very Castlevania in that essence, but like he's surrounded by flames. And it's I feel like that accurately conveys the difficulty of this game. Like, you're not going to make it, dude. You're pretty much surrounded by fire the entire time. Like, it's tough. It's tough out there. But it's such a cool, like, it's busy in a lot of ways, more busy than my prior picks, but I just like how different this is from what we ended up getting in the US.
That's what I want to look up now, because I'm unfamiliar with all of this.
The one in the US isn't bad. It's just more in the graphical style of the game itself, whereas this takes a more like realism approach to it. And I think that pays off. I think this is something that just conveys like the struggle and the epicness of the game itself. And it's beautiful. I think that's beautiful artwork. It looks like it could be airbrushed on the side of a van.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm unfamiliar with all of this, but that is some good looking box art for sure. The struggle ensues.
This game, man, it's tough. It's tough out there.
Is this the one that they're remaking?
They did remake it.
They did. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play it at all?
I haven't played it yet. I know, much to my chagrin, man. I really wish I had, but I have not played it yet. Yeah. So looking at the US version, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but there are some pretty laughable things on the US version. Like the faces in the background, just like are funky looking. But man, this is, I wish we had this version. You know, this is like really timeless. It's cool.
Yeah. Very good.
I'm going to go play it right now.
All right. Well, Mario has a permanent place on my list, it seems, but this one's just so cool. Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
This is mine. So all the Mario Karts are cool. I think I like each and every
like
box
this one.
cart.
I thought it might have been that one right there, Brian.
Yeah, it's this. So that's Super Mario Kart is really good for sure. And
it is.
That's, that I would say that's the Mario Kart that I spent the most time with. And I'm talking Deluxe. This is not Mario Kart 8 for the Wii.
Okay.
But the Deluxe one on Rainbow Road, I think that's the important part to me.
Right.
It is so colorful.
It is.
Like everything.
It is.
We got the color of the whole level. You've got the Deluxe is that rainbow.
Mhm.
The 8 is just very colorful as well. We got all our favorite characters: Link, Splatoon, Peach,
Squid Kid. Upside Down, no less.
Upside Down, Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, it's a good cover. It's a good
Yeah.
cover. And Mario's like
E for everyone.
punching the camera.
I mean, he's in first.
just like Kilgore, whatever his name was.
Fulgore.
Fulgore. Mario's punching the camera.
Oh yeah. It looks maybe Killer Instinct was the inspiration.
This is almost creepier than the demon looking back at us. Like,
where's the demon?
No, in Doom. That's what I'm saying. I feel like Mario has it out for us worse than that demon ever did.
You're right. Yeah, he's about to run us over. Clearly,
God, we are standing in the wrong place.
Mario is either in first or last, and everyone is backlapping him. Who knows?
It's Mario. He's in.
I think it was a new. I can never tell with Onion articles if they're new or old, but unless you obviously look at the date, I know how to.
I can never tell. I don't know where does one get this information.
You can always look at the date.
Yeah.
But their newest one that I saw is like total dullard picks Mario in Mario Kart.
Well,
great.
Do you pick Mario?
I never pick Mario.
Who do you pick? Who's your Mario guy?
Koopa Troopa. If we're talking like Super Mario Kart, it's Koopa Troopa.
Oh, really?
Far and away. I like the lighter characters for sure. I always do horribly if I choose a heavy character. So like Donkey Kong and Bowser are always out for me as cooler as they are to drive. But yeah, I'd say Yoshi and Koopa Troopa if he's available.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I used to pick Yoshi, but I'm a Luigi or Waluigi kind of guy. It depends on the mood.
Oh, okay.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
Good day, bad day. It's Waluigi or Luigi,
In that order. Good days are Waluigi days.
No, not in that order. No. Most days are Luigi days.
Okay.
Yeah. Most days are Luigi days. I'll say that much. Good pick, though.
I'm going to get this one tattooed on my back one day.
Really?
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Definitely.
Right. You heard it, guys. You heard it.
Yeah.
We're actually thinking about opening up a store for some merch. So I will say if we ever sell over 100 t-shirts, Brian will get this tattooed on his back.
You are saying that.
I will say this for you because I mean you were going to get it anyway. We could just use the proceeds from the shirt sales to get your back tattoo.
I'm thinking maybe how big? Like this big?
Yeah, maybe a
half
little
an
bit
inch.
No.
Okay.
For those listening, he has his hands basically extended as far apart as they could get when he said how big. Just
so bigger than my back, basically. It's going to be a zoomed in.
That's right. That's right. Good pick, though. All tattoo jokes aside.
Yes.
Good pick. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
So we're in the number 2. My number 2 here is The Secret of Monkey Island from 1990. Okay. This cover is an adventure game cover.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, no, but it makes you feel like you want to go on an adventure. It is like the coolest thing. You got Guybrush Threepwood in the foreground, right? With this sword. Stop laughing at that man's very legitimate, very serious name, Brian. Okay.
I just love that Uncharted 4 references him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, he's like one of the pirates, right? One of the committee or whatever.
Yeah, I forget the cool exact thing about it, but it's
great, isn't it?
It's something. It's something else.
Are you kidding?
I like it. I do like it.
Are you looking at the same one as me where it's like a painting again? It's very obviously painted.
Yeah, there's like some tiki people in the back and Donkey Kong.
That's not Donkey Kong.
Okay.
That is not.
There's SpongeBob SquarePants.
It's very obviously
in the background.
A monkey head that is the entrance to a cave because you can see the stairs going up. Are
there monkeys in this game?
Did you read the title?
Yeah, it's a graphic adventure by Ron Gilbert.
That is not the title. However, like this, you got the skeleton in the background, the skull and crossbones, but it's almost like transparent to where the other elements are displayed above it.
It's like an Indiana Jones.
It is.
Right?
And what is an Indiana Jones? They're adventures.
Adventure.
This makes you feel like you want to go on an adventure. You have the ghost ship there. I mean, it is really awesomely drawn. And being a younger person, I mean, I was a kid at this point. But seeing this cover, it was like, oh, I want to be a pirate. I want to go on a pirate adventure. Little did I know how abstract some of the puzzles are in this game, and that I would just beat my head against them for hours on end, but did eventually make it through the game. But yeah, this cover, man, full of mystery and intrigue. And, you know, it makes it seem like a very cool, adventurous pirate game, which it is in a lot of ways. But it also does a good job of not running into the same tropes that pirate genre has. I've talked before about how the combat's done in the game and how inventive some of the not the puzzles, but some of the dialogue is, and the writing. And man, it's a beautiful game and beautiful artwork on the cover, and it makes you want to play it. It really does. Especially as a 9-year-old, I was like, look at this, like I want to experience that, right? And it didn't let me down. The game didn't let me down. You know, it didn't let me down at all. Made me live vicariously through Guybrush.
Yeah.
And
I like it.
I love it. I mean, you really don't like this artwork?
No, I do.
Okay.
The colors are a little funky to me, but I mean, I'm sure that's part of the appeal that they were going for.
Yeah, I feel like they do a good job of blending them though through the like middle section. It kind of all goes around that middle section of the skull. Yeah. You know?
It's just I think that the purple has really thrown me off in like the background on the right and the font, but
yeah, the font's cool though. The font is very much like swashbuckling font,
right?
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, Indiana Jones. Right. Like it's got that same kind of throw to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I do like it.
He has a look of a person who's in over his head.
He looks very surprised.
And believe me, throughout the game, he's in over his head.
he looks like he's got a 1,000-yard stare right now.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Thanks.
I like it. All right. I am surprised that you have not had this game on your list yet, but my pick for number 2 is Vice City. GTA.
Nice, good pick. Actually, I don't have a GTA on my list. It would have been 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
It would have been 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 is good. I just like Vice City. The Vice City part of it is really cool. That neon pink. Yeah. Just there's so much going on here. I forget all these characters' names, but yeah, we got all the greats on here. We got high action.
You got the guy in the pastel suit, the other guy in the pastel suit.
Yep. Yeah. There's a pretty lady on there.
Yep.
This screams Miami. And that I mean it's my favorite of the, let's say, PlayStation 2 era GTA games is Vice City. Mm-hmm. So I really everything about that cover is just makes me want to play it for sure. It shows that you're going to be doing the motorcycle and the boat and things that we didn't even have in GTA 3. And I think that's exactly what they were going for. So yeah, I think this one's the one.
I think all those GTAs though, how they're all kind of sectioned off, every single one of them, you know, 3, Vice City, San Andreas, 4, 5, they're all really cool. They do well with that style.
Yeah. It's a style for sure. It feels comic booky. I don't know if that's like what they're going for. It's its own style at this point, though.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, you know a GTA cover when you look at one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that was good, man. So far, so good. Let's see if we don't blow it with our number ones. As we're gonna go into our number ones and wrap up.
All right.
All right, man. You ready for this?
Yeah. I want to say that I did put these in order. This is a very specific order for me.
I did. Looking back, now being able to look at our artwork, I think I would have moved my 2 and 3 back one and moved Castlevania up to my number 2. I really think like after going through and getting these things on a computer monitor full screen.
Oh yeah.
I think I would have moved Doom down to 5, Ghouls and Ghosts down to 4, Secret of Monkey Island down to 3, and Castlevania up to number 2.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it doesn't overtake my number 1 spot, because if you want to talk about beefy dudes,
always
look no further than Weapon Lord.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I am serious. I am so serious. Dude.
Oh no. What is this garbage?
Hold on. We looked at this once before on the show. It is a good cover. 2 beefy dudes locked in eternal combat.
And you can find it.
What? Stop it. It's
all right. Are we talking the Super Nintendo or the Genesis?
Genesis.
Okay.
Genesis.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here. I'm with you now.
So you got this guy.
This is cool.
This is cool, right?
Okay.
This is like epic medieval artwork, and it's dripping with style. I mean, you could tell that blood is about to be spilled. Like one of these people is not going to make it, and only one of them looks like anything that resembles a human being, right? You're looking at the same one here. So you got a guy in the foreground who is being just completely oversized by the person standing opposite him in the background, who is not a person. It's some sort of like spider, scorpion,
arachnid.
Yeah, like an arachnid human.
Demon.
Right. He's got like even legs coming out of his face with these fangs coming off of it.
Geez.
And all these like spider. Look at the spider legs. Look at the detail on those spider legs too. They have like coloration at the joints.
Yeah.
And it's very well detailed. And even off of the legs themselves, they have like the little grippers, I don't even know what they're called, but Spider-Man had them on his fingers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. What would those be called? Not like tendrils, but
no, but like it's a lot of detail on this. And that's not even the beginning of it. He has one of these legs behind like the knee of the man in the foreground who is a human. Who seems to be taking him off balance. And this guy has a huge, massive sword up, and you can tell he's struggling for his life. And
he must be our hero, right?
This reminds me of like the best D&D artwork.
That absolutely, I see that.
Right, and it's
or even like magic, maybe.
Right. Just like all this like really intricate shading and like definition is there. Look at the way his like sash comes down.
Mm-hmm.
It seems natural, right? It's got like a really good flow to it. I mean, I sound like I'm actually critiquing art here, but like, look, if you look, I know like the meme of me saying Weapon Lord and like the story. If you go all the way back to one of our, what episode was that? I don't even remember.
Dude, I don't know.
Where I talk about my experience with Weapon Lord. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a good one. But so I understand like that's become a meme on this show, but I feel like this game has to earn a little bit of its respect back because. And this covers.
You wanted it because of the box art, right?
I did want it because of the box art. You damn
saw
right
this.
I did. Yeah, this is.
You couldn't help yourself,
right? And if we're gonna sit here and sing the praises of Castlevania, which don't get me wrong, these two are both really, really well done. Someone has to recognize that the artist who did this was extremely talented.
Yes.
Like,
oh yeah.
As much as the game goes to waste, like this should not. Look at that font. Look at that font, my friend.
So we have to do a list off shirt with that font.
We're going to have to.
That is so cool.
Absolutely. It drips with style, and it drips with like that medieval fantasy that like, part of my childhood was opening D&D books and looking through them just to see the artwork. Right. Even if I didn't have people to sit down and play with, like I would get the books just to see the artistry that was in them. I watched a documentary that's on Amazon Prime about the artwork of those early days of Dungeons and Dragons and the artists who did them. It's incredible stuff. And this just brings me back to that moment in time, right? Like I talk about airbrushed on the side of a van. This would be airbrushed on the side of my van, and it would.
Would you tattoo this on your back?
I would tattoo this on me, not my back, but I would actually get this tattooed on me. Sure, why not?
Nice.
Yeah, I would.
Wow.
I would go that. I think out of the two, and it's not because I this is my number one, but I probably would get the Castlevania art tattooed on me before this, just because it's more iconic. More people would know what it is. This would just look a little odd. People would be like, what are you doing with like these beefcakes, like sweating it out on your back? You know,
this guy's got muscles on muscles.
Right. Like that's kind of odd, right? But man, the weapon that the bigger guy's carrying, he is apparently the weapon lord. Like,
is he?
I don't know if he.
Did you ever get that far?
No, God.
This guy's got a name. We have to find it.
I played this for like minutes, dude. It was that bad. I couldn't do anything in the game except die.
Minutes, not even an hour.
Maybe an hour, but like all we did was die. I don't think we won a single match. It's terrible. But it's really good. Like, do yourself a favor, look up the Weapon Lord artwork. You won't be let down.
Oh my gosh.
You won't be let down. So that's my number one, man. Weapon Lord. Yeah. And you thought I was joking. You thought like I mean,
legit. I think I looked up the box art before when we said it, and I was like, yeah, that is cool. I would probably pick that up too. But now that you're describing it here, and we're looking at the highest resolution possible.
Look, I did something. I'm a responsible human being. I apologize for not doing it for all the artwork prior to this, but this was done by comic book artist Simon Bisley, who provided the
Weapon Lord.
For Weapon Lord, he provided the cover art and the game's logo. There you go.
One more time. What was the name?
Simon Bisley.
Simon Bisley.
Bisley.
Okay. Find him on Twitter. Congratulate him.
I will, actually. I'm doing so right now.
Okay.
He's a British comic book artist.
Wow. I'm sure he's done like a lot of stuff because this is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
He's done some stuff.
Well, Weapon Lord was good, but I've got another one for you here that I know you'll know, but I don't know how interested you are in the Game Boy Advance's own Golden Sun.
Oh, I've heard this is good art.
Yeah, this is some good art for me. I think I have a style that I like. This one is anime, but not all the way. I think it's kind of got its own style that's not quite anime, but it's almost to it basically. But we've got our heroes, all four of them. This is your party, and it's got motion to it. If you're looking at it now,
am looking at it.
Yeah, it's got that painterly quality to it. So many different colors. I think that's what really draws me to it the most. Is each of the colors that you see on the characters is really represented in the game exactly as you see it. So like the guy on the left is Garrett. He is like very much all about the fire stuff, and
you can see that.
You can see it. Yeah, exactly. I think we got Mia at the top. Ivan is the guy on the right, and each of them have different abilities, and I forget how to pronounce it. Jin. Is it okay? Yeah. So the D is silent. Okay, got it. Jin. So I pronounced it wrong all these years, but whatever.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you had mentioned, the guy who uses fire in the game has the fire sword, right? Like it's very 1-to-1, like it reads well. Is that part of the reason you didn't choose Chrono Trigger? Because it has like Marl using fire?
Not really. I feel like the Chrono Trigger box art, while I do really like it, that it's kind of like in the snow and the ice, and I honestly can't like picture that area in the game.
Right. It seems like a white background, like just like
what, like there. Yeah. I feel like there were way cooler things to use as your landscape. It just didn't speak to me in terms of like my experience with the game as much as pretty much all these other games have.
Yeah.
So
just curious, because that's something that always stood out to me is like she doesn't use fire.
Right.
Like, what's going on there?
That it was strange for sure. Yeah. I mean, even the fact that like Chrono is wearing like way more stuff than usual, and I get it that it's in the ice and he probably would. It's just that's not him that I like picture in my mind all the time. So there's just a few points like that are just kind of in contrast to what I was expecting for that.
Sorry to take away from Golden Sun.
No. Yeah, that's cool. I can't remember. Yeah, the DS version of Chrono Trigger was identical. I mean, just a different aspect ratio. But Golden Sun is still in this vein, not quite as anime, like I said, for something like Chrono Trigger, but the colors are really what sell it for me. This game came out at a point in my life where I was like, websites are cool and people are making websites. I don't know how to do that. And this was at like the turn of the internet age, I would say. So to make your own website was a feat at this point. But I wanted to make a Golden Sun fan site where I basically had like everything, like images and strategy guide, and nothing ever came of it. But a big thing that inspired me was just to like have this art be the page of the website.
It would look good.
So it would look very good.
Yeah, definitely. Who's the bird?
I think that's an enemy. I think most of those are like enemies under them, because the Jinni are like little Pokemon looking creatures. Yeah. They all have a very distinct, like kind of pudgy look to them, but they are very distinct in their colors, and it all lines up. Like the water Jin can only go with the water person kind of thing.
Very cool.
And that font and that logo, so cool. I love it.
It is a good logo for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I feel bad I missed out on these games. I feel bad about that.
And the sequel, The Lost Age, has some really good box art too. I want to bring that up.
I saw that. I saw that too when I got this one up.
Rivals this one for sure.
Definitely like reads like a sequel should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some stuff. So that there's like just really quick. For The Lost Age, they have this ship, and that's a huge part of the game, and it's cool that they're kind of going over that. And I think the background, just like the I don't even know what it is. It's just like looks like something draped to the background.
Yeah.
And then Golden Sun Dark Dawn for the DS, didn't play it. This box art is garbage. And the game flopped. So yeah, they lost their way at some point.
It's a good one though. Good pick. Good pick. Good list too. I had a lot of fun making this. I got to do a lot of research and see things that I hadn't seen. I think my biggest inexperience came from seeing other regions. So I wanted to be sure to include some of those on my list because man, that like, the PAL region RE4 and Ghouls and Ghosts in Japan. It was just like, this is so cool that you would never get here in the States. Or North America in general. So
we're gonna have a big face and a big character on ours here.
Right.
A couple that I really was like, I want to put this on, but I'm not going to. Banjo Kazooie,
of course.
That's great.
So bad though.
Any of the Donkey Kong Country ones are really good.
I agree with that.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
I ultimately had to cut them. Chameleon Twist, Big Ice Cream Sandwich Monsters,
Gex, Gecko. Right? No,
not on my list. Never.
No, not on mine either.
Garbage.
Not this time. But no, good picks. A lot of fun. We will be back next week.
We will.
But before then, if you want to chitty chat with us, we're available on social media. The links will be in the show notes. However, I could just tell you them now. You could email us at listoffpodcast@gmail.com. We're at on Twitter at listoff_podcast, and on Instagram at listoffpodcast. Go ahead and give us a follow. We post there fairly regularly. I'm trying to do it daily. And so far, I've been doing all right with that. Trying to be more active on Twitter, actually. We've been putting a lot more stuff out there. I do feel like it's the best. I made a post about the Forgotten City. So, What Game Wednesday is back, by the way. Nobody got it. So apparently I suck at choosing screenshots.
No, you want to stump everyone.
Well, that's good. So I did. So there. But I did the Forgotten City, and I made a response to my original tweet about like what game is this? Kind of giving a little blurb about the game and saying I would share more thoughts on it this episode. And the developer liked it. And I'm like, nowhere else would you get this. This is beautiful.
Twitter's the best the best and the worst social media platform.
Another thing, a while back when I platinumed Returnal, I made a post about that, and one of the developers of the game liked that. And and you don't get that interaction on other social media platforms. We're not sponsored by Twitter. I'm just saying it's cool. It's cool. It's very, very cool. Made me feel good.
We do have a sponsorship with Meta, though. I signed us up for that. So
what? What do I get out of it? Do I get my identity back?
They're sending me one of those Oculus Quests that you don't need a Facebook account for. So that's good. Those are like $700.
Wonderful. I get nothing. As per usual. Nothing's changed here at List Off. But yeah, we are working on a few things behind the scenes. Just to give you a little update, I'm working on a website. We're working on building a website. We hope to have that up at some point. Maybe. We'll kind of see how it goes. But right now it's coming along, and I like how it's coming along. If our minds change, we may just not do it. We are also, as I mentioned, working on some merch. We have a few different designs. Maybe want one or two more before we go ahead and put them up somewhere. We also want to make sure we're putting them up on a site that's good for people to purchase from. So I have a little more research to do with that before we do anything like that. But you'll be the first to know about it, listeners. I'll let you know before I let anybody else know. I swear it. I'll let you know even before Brian knows.
What?
You're out here securing sponsorships without my okay. So. Well,
I don't know if you want to talk about it real quick, but you have something in the background there that is like incredible.
I do. I actually tweeted about it. It's Skirmish Wars. So it's a board game. Yeah, board games. I play those too. Check that out. It's a board game that is based off the Advance Wars property. It's a print and play. So you would actually you could get PDFs of it and print it and play from those print offs, regardless of the paper quality you print on. However, my wife found this one at a Goodwill, and it is printed on actual board, game board.
Like card stock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The actual game board. And it's incredible. It looks great. Haven't had a chance to bring it to the table yet, but really looking forward to it.
An officially licensed like Advance Wars thing?
I know it had a Kickstarter. Yeah, it's not officially licensed. I don't think in any way, but it is like, it makes no bones about it. It's Advance Wars in a board game form, which awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm down.
Yeah,
I guess that's piracy.
I mean, Nintendo probably wasn't happy about it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But next week we have an episode for you guys. And this is maybe why I'm playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, because my experience with this genre is very, very limited without tapping into one franchise. That being said, it is our top 5 JRPGs, and we are doing that with our special guest, Julia, who I will have a little more information on, but she works in publishing with comic books and anime. So I think we got the right person for the job.
Yeah.
But I'll put a little more information out there during the week leading up to the episode. And I'm looking forward to that list. Like I said, not well practiced with JRPGs, but
me neither.
I
think 5 is a good number for us to try to hit.
Yeah, I'll sink if others can swim.
Perfect.
That way. But yeah, as always, guys, thanks for listening. We hope you have a great week. Bye.
See ya.